know who made it.
Welcome back to another episode of London Boy Podcast. I've got a very special guest with me today, all the way from Miami, Florida. Some of you might have seen him on the Fresh and Fit podcast. He goes by the name Michael Trillsteen. What's going on, my bro?
Thank you for having me, brother. Appreciate you.
It's alright, bro. Thank you for coming on, man. It's been a while. For those that don't know, we actually met in real life before in London.
We did, actually. We did meet in real life, man.
Back in 2016.
It's funny because, like, you have all of these, I'm sure you have the same thing where you know all these people from the internet that you've never met in person, right?
That's it. It's weird, man. Do you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself, about that initial meet back in 2016? And because between then and now, and you've really come a long way. I see you doing your thing nowadays, man.
Yeah, man. So I started working for laboratories in 2016.
Yeah.
And what we used to do is we used to do these events all around the world where we would go to places like Toronto, London, places in America like LA and Miami, and host these events for personal trainers aspiring to build online businesses. Back in 2016, it wasn't specific to personal trainers. It was really just for anyone that wanted to build an online business. I think it was back then, it was probably called the Bro Labs Accelerator, right?
Bro, yeah, back then, Bro Labs Accelerator, and the event was the Renegade Summit, if I'm correct.
Renegade Summit, that's right. So I was the right-hand man, so I would MC those events.
Yeah. Sometimes
I would give speeches. And I think that was our first event in London where you and I met.
Yeah, the first ever one. And then you came back, I think it was 2 months later, you came back for a second one, and that was, it might have been 3-4 months later, and that was when we went to that Spanish restaurant.
Yeah, I remember with all the appetizers.
All the appetizers with, I think Connor Murphy was there as well.
My guy Connor. So that must have been in 2017. Yeah, him and I have a podcast together now called the Jewish Jesus Podcast.
Oh, nice one.
It used to be called the Jewish Chocolate Podcast. I started that with my guy Corey on June 16th.
Yeah.
But after Fresh and Fit, he quit.
Oh, right.
So I found somebody taller and more handsome with a bigger following. So you know, instead of it being the Jewish Chocolate Podcast, you know, I switched the Chocolate Corey to Jesus Connor because Connor Murphy is Jesus.
Yeah, so it's a win-win.
Win-win-win, man.
Yeah, man.
I miss Corey though. If he's listening, I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, and what you say, he was on the Fresh and Fit podcast with you?
Well, he came with me, right? So what was funny was Corey's like, we were really tight for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So he was a client of High Ticket Trainer, and then he became a personal productivity client for me. He's actually like probably my best client ever in terms of like the results I've gotten him and how much better his mornings and productivity is. And then we started recording just podcasts together that we never released.
Yeah. In
like 2021. And then we launched the podcast, the Jewish Chocolate Podcast, this year in 2022 in June. And it was getting some traction. People were really liking it. But then after Fresh and Fit, he was on the couch that day. He quit the podcast because who gives a fuck? I don't even want to get into it. But he quit. So now it's me and Connor's podcast.
Guess it is what it is, but at least, you know, you're still going strong with it. You've got a new partner.
Yeah, man. You know, something I've learned about in life is you can't control other people.
That's
you know,
it, man.
People are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to act out of self-interest, and, you know, sometimes they're going to act out of fear. And, you know, you can't really get bitter over that because that prevents you from flying. There's a great song called Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw. And he says, bitterness keeps you from flying, so always stay humble and kind. So while I'm disappointed that Corey quit, being bitter would be the wrong move.
It's the wrong move.
I wish him the best, you know?
Yeah, man. What you said there about you can't control other people, it's sort of like a Stoic principle, isn't it? And for a lot of people, man, it's a hard pill to swallow, but I guess it's a real pill to swallow, you know.
Back in 2016, was that, or was it 2016 or 2017 when we
So,
brought Uncle Rob?
Uncle Rob, that was the 2016 one.
So the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
We interviewed him last week. How's he doing?
Oh, he's doing great, man. Obviously the podcast with him, it will be released by the time this is released. No,
Okay.
he's honestly doing great. Every time I have conversations with him, there's always wisdom and
Yeah.
always
I remember because he was going by the Rob Carter, and then
zero
I kept
car.
calling him Uncle Rob, so eventually he just changed his name to Uncle Rob.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
still till this day, even on like a personal conversation, I'm like, hey, Uncle Rob, how's it going?
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
there was one speech he was giving. It was like, fucking Mike, like screaming my name because like I had to,
Yeah.
he's long-winded. And like he was going past the time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was a good. Honestly, that first Renegade Summit, that was probably one of the best events I've been to. You know.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate it, man. It was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and it was an honor to have the responsibility to run those things because
Yeah.
it really helped me sharpen my MC skills and my
Of course,
speech.
bro.
And that's kind of my thing, man. Running events has always been my thing.
Yeah.
In that same year, we ran like 12 events. I also was a volunteer for Amit Sethi's Forefront event, the guy that wrote the New York Times bestselling book, How to Teach You to Be Rich. Yeah, and then he hired me to run his event as the head volunteer in 2017 in Chicago. So running events with attendees, it's one of my favorite things to do. I plan to do them for myself pretty soon, like productivity and meditation workshops.
Yeah, that would be great, man. And so, for those that don't know, obviously you do a bit of everything. You do events. You're a comedian. You're a productivity
Yes.
coach,
I'm a dancer.
dancer as well.
Of meditation. In fact, I'm in Orlando right now for the 75th anniversary of Fred Astaire Dance Studios, their national dance championship.
Oh, right.
I had my first competition in August, and I came in first place in all 30 rounds, like a G.
Pretty sick, man. So you're a bit of a jack of all trades.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a productivity coach, right? And my whole point
yeah.
is you got to overcome social media addiction so you stop wasting time. But then once you have the time, what do you do with it?
That's
and for
it.
me, stand-up comedy, dancing, etc. Because there's actually a lot of time in the day. People say there's not enough time in the day. That's not true. There's a lot of time in a day. You're just wasting.
We just
a
waste a
lot
lot
of
of
time
it,
on
man.
Netflix, YouTube, etc. So I encourage people to check for their consumption to creation ratio. So how often are you consuming content versus creating it? And what you want to do ideally is really increase the number of creation and lower the number of consuming.
That's it, man. That's it. And honestly, like obviously, you know this yourself because you're a content creator now. How like it's a bit difficult, man. When you're trying to get traction on social media, like you're constantly on it. That's the only problem, right? So how do you differentiate from productive social media to addictive social media?
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
In fact, when I'd been working at Bro Labs, and then it became High Ticket Trainer for 3 years between 2016 and 2019. In 2019, in February, I decided, okay, this will be my thing, helping entrepreneurs overcome their own social media addiction so they can use their phone and laptops to make money and build great relationships the way I have. Like, I used social media to connect with people like Mark Manson and Ramit Sethi and Ryan Holiday and Robert Greene and all these big names and Super Bowl athletes and champions and Connor Murphy. And, most people don't do that. Most people use it to waste time and unfortunately get anxious and depressed and sad. So I saw a vacuum in the market for someone to really teach people how to be productive and how to use, as you said, that online time productively, which is not easy to do.
It's not easy at all.
It's kind of like, and the way I see it, it's like a 1-2 step. Like, first you got to be on defense, right? So you got to stop yourself from wasting time. And then once you master that, then you can figure out how to go on offense.
Oh, gotcha. So it's about, doing it, experiencing it first, and then sort of differentiating, and that's where you learn, right? Practice makes perfect.
You gotta take a couple steps back, and then like one step back, 2 steps forward. In my experience,
Of course, man. So let's go back to the beginning, right? When did you start working for Bro Labs? How did you meet Brandon Carter in the first place?
I was a massive fanboy, and I found his content in 2015. I was studying abroad in Ecuador at the time.
All right.
And I was a Latin American Studies and International Relations double major. I was studying abroad in Ecuador. I had a great host family, But the issue with that was I got complacent. I would stay in every weekend and just watch Netflix and be sad that I wasn't taking advantage of the opportunities I had in the country. Also, as a young man, I was 20 years old. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, you're a white blonde in Ecuador. All the Latinas are going to throw themselves at you." And that wasn't my experience. And it wasn't that they weren't attracted to me. It's that I wasn't confident.
You wasn't confident.
So I wasn't even going out and trying. But there was one girl in my class who was fucking beautiful and I was the only like gringo, right? Everybody else was Latina.
El gringo.
And my plan was I had a presentation, and I'm always great at giving speeches. So here's my big idea, because she would drive me home some nights. I'll give my presentation, she'll drive me home, and I'll go for the kiss. Smart idea. I give my presentation, standing ovation, you're so funny, blah, blah, blah. She drives me home, and guess what happens?
Rejection.
No, I didn't even try.
Oh, you didn't even try.
I didn't even go for it. So I'm in my room hating myself. You're a loser. You're a dork. You're a pussy. And I had already found Brandon when I was looking for how to work out without weights.
Without
right?
weights, yeah.
And I was watching those sissy squat videos. He was when he was holding the doorknob. Yeah. And I found the motivational videos, right? Like, are you a man or a bitch? Excuses are for bitches. Are you full of shit? All that stuff.
You're gonna die.
It just awoke something in me, because I lost my father when I was 10.
All right.
So I never really had that big father figure that I really needed.
Yeah.
Like I needed someone to tell me, yo, stop feeling bad for yourself. And so I really turned my life around, at least in that regard, and that mental shift. And he was hosting a boot camp in 2015 in New York in Central Park. I attended it and met him. The following year, I came back and I noticed that Johnny Ty, who was there the year before, was now working for him as his cameraman. And then he suggested to me talking to Brian about helping with customer service. And then they officially hired me on July 4th of 2016.
Right.
And I started working for them a couple weeks later. And the first move I made for them was I got Mark Manson to come to the office and do his first interview for The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So, a lot of people say, oh, well, it was easy for you to network because you had these big names. But, no. I emailed Mark Manson while I was in Japan right before starting my job. And then a couple weeks later, he was literally at the office interviewing and giving Brandon his first copy of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yeah. And then that went on to be, the biggest book in the world. So
I remember watching that video.
And Mark Manson also co-authored Will Smith's book, Will. So
I heard about that one.
Kind of caught Mark before he really blew up,
Yeah, man. So that's crazy. So that year when I met you, you've literally just started working at Bro Labs.
I just started working at Bro Labs. I got Mark Manson, and then I got Ramit Sethi running his events. And, Ramit actually gave me a job offer in February of 2020. So, I'm pretty well connected. Networking is a very strong skill of mine, for sure. Yeah.
That's crazy. So you went from literally being scared to go out and chat to girls in Ecuador to hosting international events with Brandon.
But crazy. I wouldn't say that was really that big of a shift, because I was always good at events, even before Brandon. It was oddly enough, it's very easy for me to socialize with people if it's my job to at a conference.
Yeah.
The difference was if I was pursuing females in a dating capacity, it was almost impossible, because I don't know, that insecurity, those butterflies. Whereas if you really want to fast forward, September 12th of 2022, so a couple months ago, I did Fresh and Fit with my two girlfriends, the perfect pens that everyone jokes about, Christina and Angela. So yeah, we definitely came a long way.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. So yeah, that's crazy, bro. And so let's talk more about your productivity business. How did that come about? When did you first start it?
So as I said, in February of 2019, I started making content about it on Instagram, how social media can trick you. I got most of my information from Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport, who's also somebody that I talked to via email, the guy that wrote Deep Work. But Digital Minimalism is his best book, in my opinion. And Cal decides to opt out of using social media, whereas I use it, and people say, oh, how can you tell people to use less social media on social media? And I'm always like, you guys are missing the point. It's like complaining about a lawyer going to a jail cell. I have to go where I'm needed, right? People need help on social media, so...
Yeah.
I started making content about it, and I started coaching people on it maybe late in 2019. And I had a
2019.
little mastermind group, 5 to 10 people. And then in 2020, it began to really blow up. I had like 10 to 12 clients
Wow.
paying something between 3 and 8 grand. And then in 2021, I sold my first course called Manifesting Mastery. And it was all about manifesting your dreams. And I started a meditation group in June of 2020 during the George Floyd riots because COVID and race. And I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
it was going a
let's
bit
have a
crazy.
meditation.
Yeah.
Let's have a call where nobody talks about religion, race, or politics, and we all just meditate. And that started to blow up. And then in 2021, I basically sold the meditation group, which was free, the manifesting course, and I closed 25 out of 28 people on that Zoom call for $1,000. So
Crazy.
yeah, it went. I was a perfect pitch. Like I fucking crushed it. And the thing was, it wasn't really about the pitch. It was about the loyalty and trust that I built
With the
over.
clients.
For a year, I just did free calls and didn't sell anything. And I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm saying if people trust you to buy, then you really don't have to sell much. If they can see that you have integrity and you're not here to steal money, you'll probably not get that much resistance when it comes to selling stuff.
That's it, man. Because it's funny, like you see a lot of online marketers on YouTube, on the ads. It's
Yeah,
hard to differentiate which one's legitimate and which one's a quote unquote
right.
scam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where does that differentiation come from? I'm guessing it comes from the value, right?
Yeah, but it also just comes from, funny, despite all the jokes we make about people not being smart nowadays, human beings actually have pretty good intuition.
Good intuition.
So you can only fake for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a genuine believer that there is karma and there is, like, being a humble and kind and loyal person will pay off for you.
Yeah.
And I've been that way my entire life, whether it was at 2 years old or 10 years old or getting bullied in school. I was always very, very nice and
Yeah.
kind to people. And I think that shines through in my content. And I think, therefore, people feel safer to buy from me. So I think it's about creating a sense of safety when people buy from you where, okay, this guy isn't a bullshitter. He's telling the truth. And if anything, I feel safe giving him my money,
Feel
knowing
safe
I'll
giving
get
your
something
money.
good out of it.
So it's basically
I
building
don't, I don't
trust.
believe in hard sales, man. I don't believe in handling objections and pushing people to the brink. Like, fuck all that. I
Yeah.
want a hell yes or a no in everything I do.
That's it. Yeah, I learned that as well. The last 2 years I've been selling real estate pretty much,
Yeah.
and it's the same sort of principle. And if there's no point trying to bullshit the client to buy, right? If it's a
No.
good product and they trust you, they'll buy it. If they don't buy it, it's not for them. That's the approach I take.
Well, that's real estate, right? Because
Real
someone's
estate.
purchasing the fucking home.
Yeah,
That's not an impulse buy. Nobody's like
yeah,
handling objections for some. Like most real
yeah.
estate people I talk to, they're very cool. They're very like laid back. They're
Very
like,
laid back.
yeah, we think it's beautiful, but if you don't think it's a good fit, then don't buy it. I mean, that's relationship based selling, which to me
Yeah,
is I'm looking to make clients for life. I'm not
for
looking to have
life
people buy once and goodbye.
and then goodbye. I get that. Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, do you want to tell people a little bit about you got two girlfriends, if that's correct?
Well, I did.
Oh, you did.
So I dated Angela for 2 years. We started
Yeah.
dating in July of 2020, and then off and on because she wasn't my girlfriend because she's younger than me. She's 20 years old,
Yeah.
which is funny because I thought she was older than that. That's a whole nother story, but she was at least 18, thank God.
Yeah. Thank
And
God.
yeah, she lied about her age, if I'm being honest, but it's fine. She was old enough, and so we met in 2020, and then in 2021, when I moved to Florida after selling that manifesting course in April, I met Christina in June or July of 2021,
All right.
and I was kind of seeing Christina and seeing other girls, and then I saw Angela sometimes when I visited New York, and then they both met at my dance competition in August. They both came to support me. And like Angela was in my room and Christina was in her room, and I would be with Angela, and then I'd be with Christina, and then
Yeah.
they both kind of agreed to be in a throuple with me. So it was an open relationship where they technically could have slept with other people, but they didn't,
But they were
right? And
loyal
neither
to
did
you.
I. We all just agreed to be together. And then the three of us did Fresh and Fit on September 12th, and it went great. But unfortunately, Angela got extremely jealous of Christina.
Oh, she did.
Which makes sense. Christina's 28, Angela's 20. You know, it was a maturity thing where she just kept yelling, "Oh, why do you need me? Christina's perfect. She cooks, she cleans, blah, blah, blah." And
wait, so who's who? Which one's the blonde one? Is Christina the blonde one?
Christina's the blonde one. She's wifey. And Angela kind of broke up with both of us like a couple weeks or a week after Fresh and Fit.
So Angela, that's the older one, right?
No, Angela's the
younger one.
The younger one bailed.
The younger one bailed. And when you said you was in a relationship with both of them, does that mean that you're dating both of them, or all three of you are dating each other?
All three of us were dating each other for, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, right, that's crazy.
And we had our first threesome 2 days before Fresh and Fit.
Oh, wow.
And then we had another one kind of at the morning of Fresh and Fit.
Crazy.
It was great. It was a lot of fun, man. It was we came a long way from being too afraid to kiss the girl in Ecuador.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, you're loving life now.
Yeah.
But how do you pull that off though? How do you convince two girls to be in a tree?
Be really good at eating pussy. That's kind of I'm kidding, but I am good at that. How did I do it? Trust, safety. You know, remember, I've been with Angela for 2 years. I've been with Christina for a year. And what I basically said to them is what Fresh and Fit preaches is like, look, I'm never going to be a guy that can only sleep with one woman. It's not in my nature. It's not in any guy's nature, really.
Yeah.
And you can either get with it or not.
Or not.
And they got with it. Christina was down. Christina is down. That's why she's still here. In fact, we're kind of dating other girls together.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, we'll talk to them, but Christina has to like them. See, this is where I think the red pill sometimes get lost, where they tell men, you know, just lie or don't even lie. Just do it and don't even talk to your girlfriend.
Don't even talk to your girl.
Because she's your partner. She lives with me, right? Like, I want her to be happy. So why would I just tell her, this girl's coming tonight? Like, no, like, let them meet, let them have a drink, let them meet each other, you know? And I think if the girl feels safe, she will be much more likely to want to do it. So I don't believe in this, like, angry, red pill, forcing women to do shit. That shit is whack.
It's whack.
I think be very open, be very honest, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, and good things happen.
That's it, man. That's crazy. So, talking red pill stuff, I've seen that you're an advocate for Top G, Andrew Tate. So,
yeah, well, they call me the top Jew, so, you know, I feel like we're one and the same. They were trolling me, calling me the bottom G, but then since they saw, they're beginning to like me more, so they're either calling me the top Jew or the mid G, which is kind of funny. I'll take the mid G, like he's the top G, I'm the mid G, you know?
Yeah, so what are your thoughts?
Someone wrote in the Instagram chat, top Jew. Which is
top Jew. You feel, I'll run with it. I'll run with that.
Yeah, that's my guy, Shay. What up, Shay?
What up, Shay? So, yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on his cancellation?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, man.
It's so ridiculous. You know, people always make the argument, and I even saw Brandon do this on his channel about Kanye West, where they say, you know, these private companies, they're allowed to do whatever they want.
It's their platform, yeah.
But here's the problem. The community guidelines of what causes someone to be canceled are so vague on purpose.
On purpose.
And it's not fair across the board. And of course, life isn't fair. But my point is, it's never clear what content is allowed and what isn't. And it's very clear to anyone with eyes that they let people that have certain political beliefs stay on and say wilder and more fucked up shit. And then people that are a little bit to the right, like, they just kick them off without warning.
Yeah.
People will do it. They just fucking they just deactivated his channel out of nowhere. And people like Steven Crowder, people like Andrew Tate, people like Sneeko, for violations that are very unclear, and it's fucked up in my opinion.
Yeah, it's messed up. I don't know. I think you might be aware of the UK YouTuber King Richards.
Yeah, I heard about
Yeah,
that.
he's a real guy, a real G man. There was a certain point when his channel was being, is it called blacklisted or shadow banned? That's it.
Yeah,
They were
yeah. But
shadow
shadow
banning his.
banning's a real thing. Shadow
Yeah,
banning's a real. I'm getting pretty fucking sick of people saying, "Well, shadow banning are just people complaining that their content isn't good." No,
yeah.
shadow banning's a real thing.
It's a real
Shadow
thing.
banning's a real thing. When you're not shilling the vaccine, right, and you're not shilling the Democrats, and you're not shilling, Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate, and all of these like to save the Ukraine. I'm
Yeah.
not saying any of those things are wrong, but you can have a different opinion, and you shouldn't be punished for it.
Yeah, like what happened to freedom of speech, you know? It's ridiculous, bro.
Well, again, the devil's advocate would say, well, freedom of speech, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want. And that's right, but I think that at this point, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, these places are so popular. They're basically society.
Society.
So they need to adapt to the fact that they should, in my opinion, allow free speech.
That's
I
it.
think there should be fucking First Amendment rights on YouTube.
On its
That's
own
how I feel.
platform, yeah. It's mental, but the thing about especially Andrew Tate, because he's so big, so much of a big character, you see him on other people's platform anyway, you know. It's like he was never cancelled, you know.
Yeah, I wrote an email before they canceled him called Trillsteen's ex-girlfriend cancels Andrew Tate, and she like posted one of my ex-girlfriends. She posted this thing like about how social media needs to deactivate his account, and they eventually did. And my point was like, even if I disagreed with Andrew, as a creator, I have a moral and ethical obligation to defend people.
Yeah.
That because this is how we make our living, right? For better or worse, this is how we make our living. And to try and strip that from someone because they said the wrong words, like Kanye. Like it's all fucked up. I don't like canceling at anybody. I think we should allow all speech, even hate speech. Because hate speech is free speech.
It's free speech.
People are allowed to hate Jews. I don't give a fuck. Kanye can come out here and say all kinds of wild shit about the Jews. He should be allowed to say it. He can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He's an American. Americans are allowed to say words.
To say words. Yeah, humans in general, like, we're not living in a dictatorship or communist country,
Or are
you know.
we?
Or are we?
Or are we? I don't know.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. And so, like, for people that don't know, so you're actually Jewish, right?
They call me the top Jew for a
Top Jew
reason.
for a reason. So, what are your thoughts on Kanye's comments? Do you think there's a cabal of people that are running the world right now?
I don't know. But I'll say this. Yeah. I'm a massive Kanye West supporter.
Yeah, come on.
I love Kanye. I support Kanye. And I'm a big actions over words person.
Actions over
words. So what are Kanye's actions over the years? Have anything been anti-Semitic? No. He's been extremely pro-Israel, pro-Christian, pro-Muslim, pro-healing the world.
Yeah.
He said some words. They weren't very nice. You know who also said words that weren't very nice? Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, yeah.
You know who said words that were really nice? Obama. But who got more done?
Trump.
Trump got more done. I don't give a fuck about your nice words. Let me see your nice actions.
The nice actions. So
Kanye and Trump have nice actions. I support them over nice words.
That's it, man. That's it. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy, bro. So, another thing I've seen, you're a comedian, right? Like a stand-up comedian.
I am a stand-up comedian. Yeah. My biggest opportunity came up on my a week after my birthday on April 28th. I opened for Giannis Pappas, who has been on Joe Rogan multiple times.
Okay.
He's been complimented by the likes of Sebastian Maniscalco and Louis C.K. Yeah. He's a legend from Park Slope, Brooklyn. I'm a huge fan, and the fact that I had the opportunity to open for him is just amazing.
That's crazy. So you do that, is that your career path now? Is that...
it's kind of like a mishmash, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm very committed to becoming a world dance champion by 2028. That's one of my big goals, and selling out Madison Square Garden by that time. I plan to do it with a comedy dance show. So I'm very committed to continuing both comedy and dancing. Although I haven't been on stage in comedy for a while because in a way, I get to perform comedy on my podcast, on my Zoom calls,
Yeah.
all the time. And unfortunately, the comedy club that I was performing at nearly every week this year, they saw my Fresh and Fit episode, and they don't want me back. They're like, it's crazy how many people, friends, family members, and they just, I got canceled because I did Fresh and Fit, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, you know.
Yeah, man, it's bloody ridiculous, man. What happened to free speech, man? Like, people, I don't know, man. They just lean to the left a bit too much, you know.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Yeah, one thing I talk about on my podcast is people starting from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if say this is me back when I met you, I was 19 years old. I was a teenager trying to find my way. Like, if you was like 18-year-old Trillsteen, 19-year-old Trillsteen, what advice would you give yourself? You know, in terms of like finding your purpose, finding what you want to do in life. You know, if you're confused.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of my mindset back when I was 18. I think I would have encouraged myself to meditate.
Meditate.
At 18, because I started meditating at 20, and man, that really changed my life. Meditation is the key to nearly everything. I mean, kind of my three core tenets of life are meditation, dancing, and comedy. And
that's comedy.
I really do believe that that's the solution to the mental health crisis in the world is we need to meditate, so we need to breathe.
Yeah.
We need to laugh, comedy, and we need to dance, move. And we do those three things, and I think we overcome nearly every issue in the world.
By those three things, right. Yeah.
Meditate, laugh, and dance, man.
Meditate, laugh, and dance, and it's funny. You're like, as part of what you're doing, what you're selling, you obviously do meditation courses, right, or camps.
Yeah, I do a free meditation call every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I believe that's 3 p.m. London time.
London time, yeah.
And so those are free every Saturday. And I have a manifesting course. I have a productivity group for $100 a month, at least at the time of this recording, where I meet with people once a week on Zoom for a group call, and then they have daily accountability from me, productivity, meditation, etc. They get my Trillsteen app, where they get trainings in there as well.
Yeah.
I've been seeding this meditation app for a long time. It's gonna be like Headspace.
Yeah.
But better
Headspace. Yeah.
Like not like more Jewish and less British. And it'll probably be somewhere between like $14 and $22 a month for like Trillsteen guided meditations.
That's pretty cool, man.
So that's all coming out soon. But if anybody wants to check out my stuff, they could go to trillsteen.com. They'll find everything there.
All right, bro. So we haven't got long left of the call. Do you mind if I re-invite you? And then all right, people. I'm back with my man Trillsteen. Hey, man. So you spoke about a little bit about yourself, what you do, your courses, your meditations. So what's next for you, man?
So it's going to be the following order. I'll be doing Joe Rogan in 2023, which is going to be a big step for me. And then, as I said, I'm going to be a world dance champion by 2027. And I'm going to sell out Madison Square Garden in 2028 in a comedy dance show. You want to come?
Yeah, where is it? New York, Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, it's the most famous arena in the world.
Yeah.
Not many people have sold it out, but I'm going to.
Was it in 2023 you said?
No, 2023 I'll do Joe Rogan. 2028 I'll sell out Madison Square Garden.
Oh, cool. And Joe Rogan, is that already booked, arranged? Or
no, but it will be.
You're going to manifest it?
I mean, it's already, so Giannis Pappas has been on the show many times, and Joe knows me now. He's seen my stuff. I know he has.
All right.
And Mark Normand, who's another big comedian, posted my joke on his Patreon. He's one of Joe Rogan's best friends. It's impossible that this motherfucker hasn't seen a little bit of me yet.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to invite me on the show himself.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it, man. And yeah, when you do make it to Madison Square Garden, I want to come back. Yeah,
and that's when all these people that have abandoned, betrayed, said all these horrible things about me in the past 2 months, they'll all be, as Drake once said, everyone who's doubted me is asking for forgiveness. If you ain't been a part of it, at least you got to witness.
At least you got to witness.
Bitches. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that day.
Yeah, man, me and you both, bro. And yeah, do you want to tell people a little bit more about your mentors? Like, what's your relationship like with Brandon at the moment? You still work with him?
Yeah, no. So I left, and him and I, we didn't see eye to eye,
Oh, right.
which is why I left. So I wish him the best, but we're not really talking right now. Um, some of my mentors that have been very helpful
Mm.
in my life include, I have a lot of friends that are from old money because I worked at a beach club uh, I worked beach clubs for 8 years, 13 to 21. That's where I built my work ethic.
Yeah.
But I worked at Clearwater Beach Club in Atlantic Beach, New York for 5 years. And the owner, Doreen Lostrito, beautiful woman, very, very strong mentor for me. Just great work ethic and taught me a lot. And there was one guy that is a hedge fund manager there. His name is Neil.
Yeah.
I don't know if he doesn't like people knowing his full name, so I'm not going to say his name, but he's been a mentor of mine over the years where I'll go to his office in Manhattan. He's loaded, like loaded, like old money, like hedge fund manager
hedge
money.
fund
And
money.
he's been very helpful. My uncle Matt, who's a financial planner. I have a lot of mentors that are not in social media, which I think is pretty helpful actually because they have a different perspective on things. Social media wise, Ramit Sethi, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Mark Manson, Ryan Holiday, Sean Achor, who wrote The Happiness Matrix, or something like that. I was a big fan of Headspace, Emily Fletcher. I've read a lot of books and I've hired a lot of coaches. Ben Settle, the email king. He's the one that taught me copywriting pretty much. Troy Broussard, his business partner, amazing man. Him and I have gotten close. Casey Rogers, Kate Shutt, who was my life coach in 2017. She graduated from Harvard and she's given a TED Talk before. Very, very smart woman. I have a lot of female mentors in my life, interestingly enough, which I know the red pill say is awful. But I've got a lot of strong, successful women as coaches in my life in addition to men. And I think that's why I kind of have a healthy purple pill mindset.
Quite balanced, yeah.
I think is why I had 2 girlfriends. It's like, you can't, in my opinion, be 100% masculine and make girls feel safe. The thing about Andrew Tate that people don't understand is it's very clear to me that he's in touch with his feminine side. I know that's like going to make people upset for me to say.
Yeah. So what makes you say that?
He doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah.
He's constantly making jokes. He's dancing. He's having fun. It's very clear to me that Andrew Tate's a gentleman to the women off of the camera. And he's not like this toxic asshole, right? No. It's funny because Angela was really opposed to Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines before I told her that she was wrong. And then when she met Myron, she liked him a lot. So the story there is don't judge a book by its TikTok cover,
Its TikTok cover. Yeah, that's mental, man. And so you mentioned books. What books have you read in the last few years?
I should have mentioned that mentor is Mar Martinez, my dance coach, incredible woman, and Cuban. So I'm a Jew. Together we call ourselves the Jubin. I'm a big fan of movies. So American Beauty. I love American Beauty. I love Scarface.
Yes.
I love A Clockwork Orange, which is a British movie. Yeah, I'm a big fan of movies as mentors. I'm a big fan of athletes. So my 3 favorite humans to ever live: Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant. And I've studied their biographies and how they lived, and I aspire to do a lot of the same things. Michael Jackson's my biggest influence for everything. His goal was to heal the world, and it was funny. 50 years of show business, basically, because he was a star as a kid. Never said a bad word about anybody. Not once. Despite all the news is bullshit, he was always kind and sweet.
Yeah,
and even after he was famous, his songs were "You Are Not Alone," "Heal the World," "Man in the Mirror," which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, "Man in the Mirror" is the best one. Yeah, Michael Jackson. What about the controversy surrounding him? Do you think that's all bullshit?
All a lie. It was all a lie, dude. It's all a lie. It's fake news, bro. Like they what they did to Michael Jackson, they did to Donald Trump. It's what they're currently doing to Kanye West. It's what they did to Andrew Tate. It's what they're doing to Sneeko. It's kind of what they're doing to me. It's just they're lying about people that have integrity.
Have
You know,
integrity.
people that tell the truth and they don't fold under the face of pressure.
And that's what happens when you go against the grain. You know, people are not going to agree with it.
People forget that Michael Jackson was the first black artist to ever go on MTV. He donated the most money to charity in the history of the world. And motherfucker's still out here, like, trashing his name. When literally all of your favorite artists, pick one. The Weeknd, Chris Brown, Beyonce, Usher. They will all, Kanye, Jay-Z, they will all say Michael Jackson is their biggest inspiration. Yeah. So, I don't know how these Beyonce fans are out here trashing MJ, because Beyonce literally wore MJ's outfit when she performed at the Super Bowl. Yeah, so, man. And y'all gotta stop hating on your grandpappies, because they cleared the path for you.
That's it, man. What about books? I'm guessing you're a big advocate for knowledge.
Yeah, I'm big. Yeah. If I have to pick names off the top of my head, Ryan Holiday, Mark Manson, Sean Achor, Cal Newport, Robert Greene. They're all the usual suspects. Mel Robbins is fantastic. I'm trying to think of one that most people might not, that might be underrated. Ramit Sethi. I don't hear people say his name too often, so I'm going to give...
I haven't really heard of him. I have to look into him.
Yeah, I'm going to give Ramit his flowers. Read I Will Teach You to Be Rich. It'll change your life.
Ramit Sethi. You mentioned you've worked with Robert Greene, or you've done stuff for him?
I've emailed with him to coordinate interviews with him and Brandon.
Oh, right.
I don't know him personally. I did an interview with Cal Newport with Brandon once where I was on the call. I've spoken to Mel Robbins via email. I've spoken to Ryan Holiday via email. I've coordinated a lot of interviews with these people, and I've gone to 2 basketball games with Mark Manson.
Right.
I've gone to drinks with Ramit. I've told you I did his events. And Jesse Itzler, the guy that he wrote a book called 30 Days with a SEAL, where he literally hired David Goggins to train him. I've been to his event in Clayton, Georgia, so I know Jesse as well. Him and I DM sometimes.
That's crazy.
And most recently, I'm coaching a Super Bowl champion named Zach Moore, he won a Super Bowl with the Patriots in 2014, and he was on my podcast a couple weeks ago. He's coming back next week. Right,
you coaching him for his productivity?
Yeah, not officially, but on and off, and I'm helping him a little bit with his social media. Really, really good dude, Zach Moore. Really good guy.
That's crazy, man. Just by talking to you right now, there's 2 main things I learned from you. One of them is that you're not entirely red pill.
No.
Like, you're more like a balanced, cool guy, you know. And the second thing, you've got a really big network, man.
Well, I mean, I think that just comes from being a good person and being kind and being loyal and having integrity. I've had that my entire life. So as I went from private to public, because Fresh and Fit was really my moment where, okay, now people kind of know who I am.
Oh, you are.
Beforehand, you kind of knew me, the guy behind Brandon or whatever, but now people know me. And I'm not afraid of any controversy. You know, these like people that become celebrities and they say, back when he was 13, he did this shit. Like, nobody has anything on me because I've been nice my entire life and I've really never fucked anyone over. I don't really have a mean bone in my body. The only thing that I grew recently over the past couple months was like fucking backbone, where like when people lie about me, I defend myself.
You defend yourself.
And that surprises Michael. We miss you when you were nice. Like, I'm still nice. I'm just not gonna let you get away with fucking bullshit.
Yeah, stand up for yourself, man.
That's it.
That's crazy. And would you be coming back to the UK or London anytime soon?
I want to. I really want to. I have a lot of people I was dating a girl in the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a wild girl. In fact, before the Jewish Chocolate Podcast, her and I would record a podcast. We called it the Jewish Red Coat Experience. I was the Jew and she was the Red Coat. She's a great girl. So I have to see her. I have a couple friends. Do you know Yasmina Ellens? She's a big networker over there. And her partner, Greg Maverick, they have like this social blueprint thing they do in London. Oh, no, they're in Cambridge, actually.
Oh, Cambridge, yeah.
And then my guy Hassan. I've got quite a few friends in London, so yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah, if you do, I would definitely have to link up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, bro. And yeah, so what's the main takeaway you want people to get from this podcast, bro?
All right, good. Yeah, this is probably a good place to end it because I'm doing a live stream with Connor in 10 minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess I would say be a good person, be kind, be humble, love everybody, even your enemies. You know, I'm going through a lot of shit right now, but it's just not healthy to hang on to the bitterness
Nah,
because
it's not, man.
everybody has something going on and everybody's doing their best. So try to assume the best, be humble and kind, and try to focus on the positive because there's a lot of beauty in this world. And
There is.
to focus on the negativity is just silly. I'm at this dance competition. It's hard to find somebody who's frowning. Everybody's smiling. The women are dressed with beautiful diamonds and beautiful dresses, and the men are dressed in suits, and it's really a beautiful thing. So I would recommend everybody do their best despite difficult circumstances to stay humble and kind. Listen to Tim McGraw's song "Humble and Kind." It's a great
Tim
song.
McGraw. And what's the name of that author again? You said you want to give him his flowers. I need to check him out.
Ramit Sethi.
Ramit.
RAMITSETHI. Go to his website, iwillteachyoutoberich.com. Buy his products. He's a great guy. And if you have any money left, go to trillsteen.com and buy my shit.
All right, man. Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on in such short notice. So
yeah, of course.
If the guys in the UK wanted to find you, where's the best place to start?
Yeah, go to trillsteen.com, and on Instagram I'm at Trillsteen. On YouTube I'm Michael Trillsteen.
Michael Trillsteen.
I also recently got a lot of advice from celebrities. Like if you go to my YouTube channel right now, you'll see celebrities like Super Bowl champion Ray Lewis, roast master Jeff Ross, the comedian Giannis Pappas, Magic Johnson, the basketball player, Emmitt Smith, the NFL player. They're all rooting me on and giving me advice, so go check that out.
Nice one, Trustine. Yeah, absolute pleasure. And yeah, this probably be released in not next week but the week after, so I'm gonna shout you out.
You know what, I think it would actually be helpful to post it to my Instagram because I think that it won't lower your download numbers and it'll just create more exposure. So with your permission, I'll post this. I can either do a collab post with my own page or I can do a collab post with you. What would you prefer?
If you could do it with my page, I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, that way
bro.
it's on both your pages, but it's just my face the whole time. I don't know if you're okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine.
All right, so I'll add you as a collab, and then people that are really dedicated will just listen to the Instagram, and then the people that want the full show
They'll
will
go
get
on
it once it's on iTunes.
YouTube, man. All right, man. Once
Much
again,
love, brother. Thank you for
have a
having
good
me.
one, bro. Take care, man.
Peace.